Did something bite me? Will darkness and silence prevail when death comes? Or will we go to heaven, hell, or even, according to some, Valhalla? What if you could be reborn in another body? We begin a mysterious story that permeates nearly all religions. Reincarnation, the power of the soul. Have you ever thought you wanted to live in another era of history? Or have you ever felt like you were part of a more intimate society in another country? The reason for these feelings is that you may have actually lived in that era or those countries in previous versions. Or you have a fear of separation. Perhaps you died from a fall from a height in previous works. Reincarnation was first used literally in the 19th century by the French spiritualist Allan Kardec. The origin of the belief in reincarnation and reincarnation is unknown, likely originating in India and China. It advocates for the rebirth of humans in a new authored body after death. Throughout history, almost every civilization has been influenced by this belief in one way or another. Ancient Egyptians believed that humans would live for 300 years in various animal bodies after death before being reborn as humans. Some philosophers considered the process of living as completely different beings, something that could not be fully grasped in a single earthly life. In Far Eastern religions, reincarnation is called samsara, and it is believed that the soul, after inhabiting new bodies countless times, will reach nirvana and attain eternal happiness. Famous philosophers, Socrates, Pythagoras, and even Plato believed in reincarnation, with Pythagoras even claiming to remember who they were in previous lives. Today, it is believed that between 1 and 3 billion people have reincarnated and believe in them. Two factors underlie the emergence of methods such as reincarnation: the fear of the first human being's extinction, the desire to live again after death, and the quest for justice for the sibling. The modern era of reincarnation advocates the rebirth of another human being after death. However, in forms such as samsara and metempsychosis, you may be reincarnated as a human, an animal, or even a plant. This survival is the bringing together of all good and bad deeds in your next life. Virtue ensures new endeavors, while evil will cause the new life to be filled with pain and hardship. If you torment a living being, the next tormented being could be you. Everything you do is the fulfillment of your next life. According to some Greek philosophers, even your successes are actually things you add to what you learned in the previous life. Plato's position summarizes this as follows: choice depends on the soul's wisdom and what it learned in the previous life. They choose some people from others. What about reincarnation in Islam? While reincarnation, generally presented as metempsychosis, is rejected in Islam, many Sufi groups or sects have embraced this belief in various forms throughout history and today. For example, according to both Muslims and Christians, humanity is subject to an unequal test in the world. For example, someone born into poor and difficult circumstances in India is not equal to someone born into a wealthy and well-educated family in America. Those who live long are not equal to those who die very young. However, according to belief and according to justice, because it is one of God's attributes, this inequality is eliminated by being sent back to different environments and circles within the human world. Now, when the day of judgment arrives, everyone can come. The test of the ugly and the beautiful, the civilized and the savage, the weak and the rich, can only be equalized by reliving them in different inclinations. Religious groups that hold this belief accept these two verses from the Quran as evidence. We do this so that we may bring your like in your place and recreate you in a creation you do not know. These two verses are controversial for proponents of reincarnation. Sufi figures such as Mevlana Rumi and Yunus Emre are also thought to have believed in reincarnation. Mevlana Jalaldin Rumi said, "I too, inanimate being, died. What grew and broke became a plant. I died as a plant. I manifested from animality. I was dying from animality. I was a human being. Why be afraid of exploding? Have I ever been seen to transform more brightly, to descend?" According to modern-day proponents of reincarnation, we can still carry some traces of our previous lives with us today. For example, past lives of troublesome individuals may have been analyzed and explained. Or, someone afraid of heights may have lost their life by falling from a tall building. Your birthmarks are the scars of severe wounds from previous years. According to various views, perhaps the talents we possess today stem from the professions we held in our previous lives. Whatever lives we lived, in whatever form, body, and type, we carry the signs of each of these within us or in our minds. A skilled swimmer might have been a fish or sailor in a previous life. A keen reader might have been a writer. Far Eastern-based reincarnation beliefs in particular interpret the matter this way. Interestingly, we also see reincarnation in Judaism. While the doctrine of transmigration is rare in traditional Judaism, which has apocalyptic beliefs, it is widespread in popular Jewish beliefs. For example, many Jews believe that Adam became Noah, Abraham, and Moses. In Kabbalah, the esoteric teachings of the Jews, reincarnation is referred to as Gilgul Neshamot, or the cycle of souls. According to Kabbalah, the soul's ultimate purpose is to unite with God and contribute to universal harmony. To reach this level, the soul must undergo births and lifetimes. We will now examine an interesting idea. Some proponents of the theory of soul transmigration believe that certain animal species, in particular, were humans in previous lives. One of these is the wolf. Wolves, possessing incredible intelligence, have been associated with souls in many mythologies. They have always been considered mysterious creatures. In fact, in Turkish mythology, they were believed to guide the souls of the deceased. Another species is the orca, also known as the killer whale. One of the ocean's most feared predators, orcas, interestingly, do not attack humans, and sometimes even cooperate with fishermen. Orcas are highly intelligent creatures with complex social structures. They have highly developed learning and problem-solving abilities and have never viewed humans as prey. Feared by all living things, orcas can easily coexist with humans. Therefore, some proponents of reincarnation believe that the basis of this communication between various animals and humans is the lingering, albeit low-level experiences from previous lives. Whether you call it reincarnation or simply metempsychosis, can soul transmigration be real? Let's examine some of the most significant experiments and alleged cases conducted on this subject. The most significant study on reincarnation to date was conducted by Jan Stevenson, professor of psychiatry at the University of Virginia. Over a 40-year period, Jan Stevenson examined approximately 2,000 children who claimed to remember their previous lives, and the evidence he uncovered sparked considerable debate. He confirmed, using medical records such as autopsy photographs, that the injuries that had caused death and injury in the deceased individuals were reported as birthmarks and birth defects in the children. In one typical case documented by Stevenson, a child in Lebanon described being killed in a previous life at age 25, while working as a mechanic on a beach road, when he was struck by a car exceeding the speed limit. According to various testimonies, the child provided the driver's name, the exact location of the accident, the names of the mechanic's sisters, parents, cousins, and even hunting buddies. The case was confirmed. The child was born several years after the mechanic's death, and the child's family had no apparent connection to the deceased. Another case comes from Turkey. A young man living in Mersin claimed to be the assassinated U.S. President Kennedy. He even changed his name to Kennedy in the official registry. He even claimed to have a scar on the spot where the U.S. president was shot. Jan Stevenson came to Turkey to investigate this case, but determined it was fabricated and absurd. Stevenson, who has studied countless similar cases and dedicated 40 years to reincarnation research, believes he has proven this, but various scientific organizations and other colleagues have criticized this work. Researchers have noted that Stevenson's methods of collecting and evaluating the cases were insufficiently rigorous, particularly since much of it relied on oral testimony, making it difficult to fully verify the veracity of these testimonies. Experts have offered alternative explanations, such as cryptomnesia, the reemergence of forgotten memories, or the product of children's imaginations. It has also been suggested that children may recount stories they hear from their families or others as if they were their own lives. For example, in one case thought to be reincarnation, a young man suddenly began speaking Hebrew in very detailed form at age 20. Although it was thought he had been Jewish in a previous life, detailed research by experts revealed that the boy's caretakers from a young age were Jewish. The Jewish caretakers sang Hebrew songs and recited prayers to the young boy. This situation somehow caused Hebrew to be recorded in the child's memory and emerge years later. Experts critical of reincarnation frequently focus on false memory syndrome. False memory syndrome is a condition in which a person vividly and in detail recalls events or experiences they never actually experienced. These memories can resurface so vividly that the person believes they actually occurred. Thus, they may see themselves as a historical figure or a part of a traumatic event. Many people today who claim to have experienced reincarnation are actually those who have experienced these syndromes. However, because we have little opportunity to test them, and because reincarnation cases are largely based on oral accounts, we cannot scientifically conclude whether it is real or not. Friends, it is interesting, but we cannot deny it either. And all religions contain the philosophy of reincarnation in some way. And since there are many truly surprising, unexplained, and irrefutable cases, whether such a thing exists or not, we may never know the answer. But reincarnation will undoubtedly present us with new mysteries. So, what do you think about this mysterious topic? I'm Ali Nabiev. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me. See you.